it's another side that like wants to take more, wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Welcome to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me today, of course, is Kyle and Katie. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm on vacation.
Nice.
Very nice. Weren't you just on vacation?
I was. They're making me do it.
You have so much PTO.
Well, yeah. Our corporate year end is July 31, and I have X amount of vacation days, and you have to take them.
Yeah, I have leave that I have to take every year as well, like 25 days annual. Like you have to take. It's like an order.
Oh, I wish we had that. I work for a Canadian company, so mine's not bad. But
and Katie, how you doing?
They don't make you take it. I'm doing great. Had a little soiree for Rambo and Balboa yesterday. Their 3-year adoptiversary.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, happy Father's Day to all of you.
It is Father's Day, isn't it? I'm sorry. I should have wished you guys a happy Father's Day.
What the Katie?
I know. Any fun plans with the Rugrats today?
Just normal parenting. It's funny. I'm sure Kyle can attest. It kind of it is what it is. We'll do what we do, but I got the hugs from the kids and a card from the daughter and that she made. That's all that, I'm good. I don't need anything crazy. Just a normal day. We'll go for a walk and spend some time together. But yeah, you, Kyle?
Yeah, similar. I got a gift from my daughter today. I got a card she made at school, and I love that stuff.
Yeah,
I keep it all, that stuff, because I know I'm an old man. I'll love to look back at that stuff.
Absolutely.
I remember a day when my daughter wanted to be around me.
Yeah, I know.
I was a total loser, and
she'll come back around.
She'll come back,
eventually.
Yes. We're just packing. We're going to Vancouver tomorrow, so we're kind of going to be packing and being busy. We're not there for long. We're just there for a few days, and
we have no emails to read, which is just fine. But if you do want to send us an email, we'd love to hear from you. The email address is onemoreroundrockypodcast@gmail.com. Just check our show description as well to see the email address. But before we get into the show, we've got our trivia. You ready to write down your answers?
Yeah.
All right. And Kyle, you got the score sheet?
Yes, I do. Are we doing another 5 questions?
Yes. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
True or false? Bill Conti composed all the Rocky movies. Number 7. No, I say number 7 because there's 50 questions, so that's for the first Rocky film. Number 7. What color were Rocky's boxing trunks on the banner?
Child's play so far. Child's play.
Oh, yeah, look at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy, I'm going to be terrible. I think I got that one. What is the name of the girl that Rocky walks home? We talked about that last episode. Whore. No.
That's all I remember. Now I remember her.
The whore that hung out at the hoagie shop. Oh, this one's tough. What is Rocky's address? The number of his house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I think I know it. I put an answer down here, but I assume right. Not the ones that almost add up to 9.
No, this is his Rocky 1 address. Yeah.
I think I might have it.
Wow.
75% sure on this, but 25% is a good chance of it going south, though.
What is the name of the fighter that Rocky was fighting at the beginning of the movie? There you go. Okay. There's a couple tough ones for me there. I'm not going to lie to you. So thank you. We're drawing these questions from the Rocky trivia book from Rocco Mascarde. Sorry, I'm saying his name wrong. He's a listener of our show, and his dad also is a listener of our show. It's a 12-year-old Rocco put this book together. Okay, we'll reveal the answers at the end of the episode. All right, well, some interesting news. Mike Kunda, he's somebody I interviewed at the very beginning, going the distance, almost 6 years ago now. Of course, he's the film tour guy for the Yo Rocky Film Tour in Philadelphia. He's the Rocky impersonator, as they say. So when he does the Rocky Film Tour, he's in the likeness of the Rocky character and made a very successful life. doing that. And of course, he's garnered the attention over the years from Sly. And Sly has actually met Kunda a few times, of course, on the movie The Pretender. And I also interviewed the director of The Pretender, Jim Toscana. So I've known Mike for years. He's guested on my show, and I've interviewed him, and I'm very happy for him. I've never met him in real life, but he's very popular, obviously, in the Rocky community, and rightfully so. And he started a podcast. It's YouTube. I think it's YouTube not only, but they primarily show their stuff on YouTube, but I think they release the audio on iTunes as well. But it's called The Rocky Files. Of course, it's very successful. My understanding, first off, Sly plugged Kunda's show or his podcast on Sly's Instagram. So that's a huge honor and a huge bump, right? So Sly actually on Instagram said, hey, check out these guys. They're a great podcast. And they've only been doing it for like, maybe half a year, not even. And I've been doing mine for, 6 years. And, when you're ghosted from Sly, 500 times, it starts to sting after a while, and I'm happy for everyone's success. I wish Sly would go on everyone's podcast that's Rocky or Rambo related. I wish he would plug everyone that does an honest effort of his stuff, right? His movies and his, I was a little bit stung, not happy for Mike, but I feel a little bit deflated because I've been doing this for 6 years and I just haven't got a boo, not even to mention nothing from the man himself, and it stings after a while. So I called up Derek Wayne Johnson, who I've had on my show for 4 years, and I harassed him. I said, dude, you got to give me Sly's number, because this is it. I have no choice. I'm going to call Sly directly, and I'm going to ask him, hey, what's going on here? And I recorded the phone call, and I'm going to play the phone call now. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Hey, Sly, I know you don't know me, but my name's Ryan, and I run a podcast called Going the Distance and One More Round, and I don't know if you've ever heard of me, but I've been podcasting here for 6 years, and for 6 years you've been ghosting me, and I want to know how come.
You don't want to know, kid.
I want to know how come.
You want to know how come?
I want to know how.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. You had the talent to become a good YouTuber. Instead of that, you became a nobody on some cheap second-rate podcast.
It's a hobby.
A waste of life.
So there it is. There's the phone call. He hung up on me. I guess I can say I got to talk to Sly. It wasn't the best conversation I could have ever hoped for, but at least he knows who I am now. And but I tell you, I'm still feeling pretty down.
Ryan?
Yeah?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Why'd you start a podcast 6 years ago?
I just gotta do what I gotta do.
You don't have to do anything.
No, Katie, I do. And I gotta leave this place too.
So where are you going?
Well, they said they're gonna let me podcast in Philly. And I just want to be somewhere where I ain't gonna think about nothing except him.
Ryan, give it some time. Don't do this. A lot of people live with hurt.
A lot of people don't have a choice, Katie. I do.
And for that, you're willing to lose everything?
Katie, this isn't everything. The podcast, the Facebook pages, and all the socials we got, that ain't everything. There's a lot more than this, Katie.
Before, there were reasons to podcast I could understand, but I don't understand this. Even if you get a Sly shout out, what have you won? Kunda's still number one. Why can't you change your podcast theme? Everybody else does.
Because I'm a Sly-themed podcaster. That's how I'm made, Katie. That's who you co-host with. We can't change what we are.
Yes, you can.
We can't change anything, Katie. All we can do is just go with what we are.
You can't go with what you are. You've read the social media comments. It's podcasting suicide. You've seen him. You know how popular Kunda is. You can't win.
Oh, Katie. Katie always tells the truth. No, maybe I can't be a successful podcaster. Maybe the only thing I can do is just keep recording episodes. I don't know. All right, so with that, yes, we'll continue recording new episodes. So here we go. We're going to continue with coverage of Rocky, the first film. In this sequence here, the last thing we left off was, of course, Apollo telling Jurgens it's very smart. And now we're going to see the scene here of Gosel, Rocky, and Gosel's driver meeting up for some more bookkeeping information.
Wow, what is it? I just want to check this thing out. You said
pick up 2 yards from Schneider and a gram from Paulie, right?
No. 2 yards from Paulie and a gram from Schneider.
2
okay?
yards.
Write it down,
2 yards.
Okay?
Yeah, I got it.
Who's this girl you're going out with tomorrow night?
How'd you know?
Don't you think I hear things? A lot of canaries flying around the docks.
I'm going out with Paulie's sister.
Hey, Rob.
What?
Hey, she's retarded.
She ain't retarded, she's shy, you know?
I'll tell you what to do. Take her to the zoo. I hear retards like the zoo.
Hey, this bum gotta say that.
All right, back it up, buddy.
I'm calling you a bum.
All right, so first off, we got 3 bums there. Kyle, you want to... Did I track that right? That was 3 bums there?
Oh, thank you, Ryan. I totally
good call.
was just so caught up in the moment.
Yeah, Rocky's got his feather in his cap here, right?
Yeah, there's a few things to talk about here. We've got Rocky's feather in his cap. Have any of you noticed that before, now that you're looking at it?
I noticed it while I was watching. That's kind of weird.
I've never noticed it before. And I want to say, I went on Reddit. I posted this question on Reddit, and I also posted this question on Twitter. And I will say, there was always a couple people, I've always noticed that. Like, I doubt that, but that's fine. Honestly, 90% of the people that actually responded, who took the time to respond, said they never noticed the feather in Rocky's cap there.
I don't know if it's that I didn't notice the feather. I just didn't notice that it was different. It was just Rocky's hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I maybe recognized there was a feather there, and it didn't occur to me then that the original one doesn't.
Because if you were to ask me 2 episodes ago, recording whatever it was, before I saw this scene for the podcast review, if you said, "Hey, does Rocky have a feather or not a feather in his cap?" I'd be like, "Well, no, there's no bird feather in his cap." I would have said there wasn't one. My brain would have been, "There's nothing there." Now I know our brains just notice what they notice, but I found it interesting that the majority of the people that responded on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit said they never noticed the feather before. But of course, Seiko noticed it. It's always those people. It's always people like Seiko that remembers. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, duh. You know what else I didn't notice? The reason that Buddy's upset in Gazzo's explanation is that he's in a bad mood because of his prostate. I've never noticed that before.
Oh, that is something I've noticed. Maybe is someone with a prostate? I could be like, I hear you, man.
Yeah, I never noticed that either, Katie. It's his prostate. Mm-hmm. Relax. Buddy's in a bad mood. It's his prostate.
Yeah, I never noticed that. I thought it was cute how Rock gets a big smirk on his face when he's telling Gazzo about who he's going out with. Like when Gazzo's like, "So who's this girl you going out with?" It's cute. He gets that cute little smirk before Buddy ruins it.
It is interesting that, of course, Buddy says, I hear she's mentally challenged. A little quick reminder here. I had, speaking of Derek Wayne Johnson, a good friend of mine in real life and, online social media real life. Like, we talk all the time, actually, and I've become friends with him. Like, I legit have, phone call conversations with him. It's pretty fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Oh, yeah, so I had Derek. The only time I've ever directly asked Derek for any kind of favor, because I don't ever use Derek for that. Derek literally works with Sly, has worked with Sly, and has Sly on speed dial. Like, Sly calls Derek all the time for stuff. Awesome. It's amazing. Yeah, anyways, I gush about Derek all the time. Anyways, so the only time I ever said, "Derek, can you just do me one favor? Can you just ask Sly, when he wrote Rocky 2, why did he propose to Adrian at the zoo, especially after the scene we just heard here?" So he did it for me, and Sly responded. Sly's response to that question was he'd forgotten about this piece of dialogue when he wrote Rocky 2. That the reason why they picked the zoo at the time, they just liked the snow and the zoo combination of the tiger walking around, and he made no connection, it still blows my mind that he could write this dialogue, act in this film, write the Rocky 2 film, and just didn't even connect the zoo and the comment about her mental state.
Or that no one told him.
Yeah.
Hey, remember the last movie we did? The retard in the zoo thing?
Agree, Kyle. It is weird in editing or production. They didn't. Yeah.
I think that people probably did notice it and either were too, but he wasn't like the super ego tripped Sly at that point.
No.
So they either didn't feel comfortable saying it, or maybe they did and he opted to keep it in anyway.
But he told Derek he never made the connection. I know, but you're right. Maybe he did in 1979, but then in 2020, when he was asked the question, he'd forgotten the conversations back in 79. But yeah. Fair enough. So Buddy's upset because of his prostate.
Right, Buddy's in a bad mood. It's his prostate.
Well, he's always in a bad mood. You ought to count your blessings, buddy. You're still a healthy person. You know that?
I don't like your face.
I don't like your Z's.
Come on, your shoulders out. Come on, relax. My ears, what are you driving me crazy? Both ears.
I love that. Relax, my ears.
Oh my God, this is so like the daddy having to like separate the kids for fighting over stupid shit as like 5-year-olds.
I feel like Buddy is the 1970s equivalent of most internet commenters.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he's like a Reddit user or YouTube commenter. He's just a troll with you.
I don't like your face was his comeback.
Now, they didn't show him the captions there, but I think Rocky says, put your shoulders out or something like that. What does that mean? I never understood that piece of dialogue. Did you catch that? Doesn't come up in the captions, funny enough. Just listen again. I know. So let me just go back just a second. Listen to what Rocky says. I think when he says kiss my ass, I think Rocky's character says, put your shoulders out or something.
Oh, I thought he said come out and show me.
Okay, let's listen again.
Person, you know that? I don't like that face. I don't like your Z. Kiss my ass. Come on, your shoulders out. Come on, relax.
Come out here, shoulders out? Is that what
something
he said?
like that.
He said, like, come out and show me that, or something like that.
Oh, maybe. Either way, I took it to mean come fight me like a real man.
Now, you know what happened here in the script. Gosling steps out of the car at this point, and he says, okay, you guys need to work this out. I'm tired of this. So the same, relax my ears to both of you. But in the original screenplay, he gets out of the car and says, you guys need to square away and finish this. Rocky gets in the car and beats the crap out of Buddy and smashes his face into the steering wheel.
That would be nice if that was still in there.
It would have taken away a little bit of Rocky's tenderness and stuff. So I think that's why it was taken out. Sly said it just didn't fit the mood of the film.
Yeah, he's right.
It would have been more like a Godfather type moment.
Yeah.
My ears, what are you driving me crazy? Both ears. But he doesn't like you. Yeah. Some guys, they just hate for no reason. Gubbies? Yeah. Come here.
That's a true principle in life, though. Some people just don't like you for any reason. Believe it or not, there's people that don't like me, and I'm sure there's people that don't like you guys in your life that you've got. But it's weird how some people they find a reason just not to like you. So Gosling's right. Some people just like for no reason. Capiche?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your criteria of what you like and what you don't like is different between different people. And also some people are just poorly adjusted people, and their negativity is a reflection of their own state of mind. Buddy is probably a deeply unhappy person, and he takes that out on Rocky. Like, he's basically a bully.
Mm-hmm.
It's a form of lashing out. And guys like Buddy just really piss me off, though. Like, I don't have much patience for them.
I agree. And the older I get, Kyle, the older I get, as I near 47 in October, nearing like the last part of my career in the military, I have less and less patience for a-holes. Like, I just don't care anymore. I'm tired of you being the way you are, and I don't have to put up with it anymore. I know I wish I figured this out earlier, but the older I get, I don't have time for people that are jerks, and I'm tired of kowtowing to them.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's your problem, not mine.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Gives Rocky $50 for Adrian and Rocky to have a good time. I think we worked this out before. Is that like $200 today?
I'm just looking it up now. That's similar to what he won fighting Spider Rico.
Right.
This is 1975. $50 would be $271. That is not bad. You could go on a pretty nice date for $271.
I don't think I've ever spent that.
Most of it.
Yeah, he does. He only spends $10 at the ice rink. Yeah, so $50. That's $200. Yeah, $250, $270 date night. That's a decent meal, and yeah, for sure.
$50. You and your girl Adrian, you have a nice time. Yeah.
Thanks. Hey, how'd you know her name?
You don't think I hear things?
Yeah.
Hey, Ron.
What?
Remember what I told you?
What'd you tell me?
Take her to the zoo.
I find it interesting that Gosling didn't know Adrian's name, or I mean, why Rocky thought that was impressive enough. How did you know her name? Because we know that Paulie has been begging to work with Gosling, so I just thought Gosling was pretty involved in Rocky's life, because he went to his wedding in Rocky 2, so I just thought it was, I don't know, I didn't think it would be that much of a mystery to know who.
It seemed like Rocky assumed he knew who Adrian was, but he referred to Adrian as Paulie's sister.
That's true, yeah.
This is like a fairly tight-knit community. So Paulie's known, Gazzo's known. Adrian's so shy and never talks to anyone. She's probably referred to as Paulie's sister by most people.
They had to work it in that you don't think I hear things again.
A lot of canaries flying around.
Cute.
A lot of canaries. Yeah. I love that.
Gazzo's the master of networking. Like that guy in the age of like no social media, a finger on the pulse of what's happening. Like he knows if Rocky doesn't break the guy's thumb. He knows if Rocky's going on dates with people. Like, also would make an excellent stalker.
Yeah, these are the days before social media and what have you. So, yeah, I guess you didn't know everyone's names. Sure. So our next scene here is, I think this takes place the same day when he said, oh no, it's very smart because it's the same people in the office. It's dark out now, so it's nighttime. So they've been planning all day how to find a boxer, right? And so they're looking through what I guess are some books with boxers' names and their stats and what have you and where they're located. And I find this interesting. These books were made because how often would they have to recreate the books to show the stats? Yearly, I guess, or?
Yeah, this is insane. Like, the fact that I think this is just a convenient plot point or something. Like, I don't know if such a thing exists. Like, I could see maybe it's like a binder or something or some kind of
right. A binder might have been better, but you're right. Look at how thick these books are. So you would have to assume that's all full of boxers' names and stats. And how up to date is that? Yeah. All right, guys, we're about halfway through the episode. I think it's time for a commercial break. Is the read receipt confirmed?
Definitely. Steve Harvey has absolutely no interest in hosting a Rocky-themed trivia episode on our podcast. Of course, you can cancel the trivia indefinitely if you're set on having Harvey.
Hey, it ain't just Steve Harvey. What about all the time Ryan has invested?
I believe we can find a solution.
Solution nothing. You better find me another trivia host, and I mean in a flash, Kyle.
Don't play games with Ryan. He's the founder of the podcast. He's already spent hundreds of dollars on hosting fees, made contractual obligations with the Last of the Action Heroes podcast network. He's not going to be embarrassed.
Contacted my MBLX manager. She's hosting Jeopardy that same week.
Then give me LeVar Burton. Hell, he's ranked 5th.
I've gotten a hold of every worthwhile contender, and they all tell me the same thing. Your podcast doesn't have enough subscribers. Why the hell would I go on there?
Subscribers, nothing, man. They're afraid. Hey, no, the legit Rocky fans listen to this podcast, and none of them have a prayer of whipping me. They're making excuses, so they don't have to be the chump that gets whipped in front of the whole civilized world.
All I can say is that I'm a mediocre podcast host. I don't know what the hell else to do.
I do. If this podcast can't get a legitimate trivia host, what it's going to need is a novelty. This is the internet, right? So, Ryan Rebalkin in 2022 will give a random internet listener an opportunity. A Snow White underdog. And I'm going to put his work on the podcast right here with me. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm desperate. And there's a lot of people who are just as desperate as me. And there's nothing more they'd like to see than Ryan Rebalkin give one of our listeners a shot at the greatest Rocky-themed podcast in the world on a pre-recorded podcast episode.
I like it. It's very creative.
No, Kyle. It's very little effort. So Apollo's secretary offers him more coffee, which I think indicates they've been up all night. They're going through this long process to find the perfect fighter, the perfect name, the perfect angle.
Some more coffee.
You see Apollo's ties loose. His top button's undone. His sleeves are rolled up. The lawyer's drinking Juergens' booze that he has on the desk.
And we got Apollo's bodyguard watching the door. You'll notice that Worf, Mr. Worf there.
Yeah.
I love how Michael Dorn, who plays Worf in Star Trek, is actually head of security on Star Trek, and he's head of security here for Apollo.
You just feel secure with Michael Dorn around. I want to show Apollo Creed's so-called alpha male status here, I'd like to point out.
Sure.
This is in Juergens' office. Apollo Creed is in Juergens' chair, and Juergens is pacing around his own office while Juergens' secretary is catering to him. Juergens basically just got cuckolded, essentially.
Oh, you're right, Kyle. That is Juergens' secretary in his office. Yeah.
When Creed's taken over this promotion shit, he's running the show now. Juergens is just a prop at this point.
That's funny.
No, thanks, Shirley. What do you think about Billy Snow?
Wow.
How about Big Chuck Smith?
Yeah.
No, he's too old and dull. Hey, Bobby Judge, he's a good boy.
No, and I don't feel the heat from that.
Joe Zack's a good prospect.
He says Joe Zack's a good prospect. This is my theory. I haven't looked this up, but I think that's Stallone's father-in-law or someone who's related.
Oh.
Because Stallone is married to, I think it's Sasha Zack, C-Z-A-K.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sly, when he wrote this, inserted that name. Like maybe Joe's a brother-in-law or a father-in-law or someone like that. In Rocky 3, Rocky actually fights Joe Zack.
Mm-hmm.
you'll see on the marquee of people he's fighting, and Jozak's there. So he does eventually fight him. I like that kind of level of detail. And that's something I think most listeners wouldn't notice.
Agreed.
That's a great catch, or a great connection. Yeah, I forgot about that name. Good job.
Exactly what are you looking for, Apollo?
This is what I'm looking for. The Italian Stallion.
Rocky Balboa? Never heard of him.
Look, it's the name, man. The Italian Stallion. The media will eat it up. Now, who discovered America? An Italian, right? What would be better than to get it on with one of its descendants?
He's a southpaw. I don't want you messing around with southpaws. I need to do everything backwards.
Southpaw nothing. I'll drop him in 3.
Now, I love how he says, Southpaw nothing, I'll drop him in 3. Now, he's right to think that he can take on any amateur. He's the champion of the world. He's the best fighter that ever existed in this universe. He's right to be like, whatever. It'd be like a top NBA player worried about some college kid. Like, to him, it's nothing. But I love how he says 3. Why not 2? You know, I love the idea that that it might even take 3 rounds.
I don't think he thinks it would take 3 rounds. I think he's saying, I'll let it go for 3 rounds. I'll carry him 3 rounds.
Oh, okay.
I think for most amateur fighters in Rocky's position, or even Rocky himself, had Rocky never trained with Mickey and say just did his own thing, I think he would have got dropped in 3. Like the Rocky who fought Spider Rico, who couldn't fight at all, that guy would get crushed by Apollo Creed.
Smoking and drinking and eating donuts.
Yeah. This is kind of a callback to Muhammad Ali too, because obviously the Apollo character is based on him. Muhammad Ali was really well known for predicting the number of rounds a fight would go. He even has like a poem. It's like, if he starts talking jive, I'll drop him in 5.
Oh, cute.
Stuff like, but like, and then people were saying that the fights were set because Ali was always dropping people when he said he would. The more likely explanation is Ali would carry a person to a certain point and then drop them to make his prediction come true.
Apollo saying, I'll let it go to 3, but then we'll end the charade. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love his intonation, the way that Apollo, this is like the 3rd or 4th time he said, Southpaw, nothing. He uses that intonation a lot. Also, do you guys know anyone who pronounces Italian as Italian?
Yes, my mother-in-law and other... So my wife's family, I could say this because none of them listen, all like farmer, kind of like redneck backgrounds.
Well, that's not insulting.
And they say Italians.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I find like older people say it that way.
Oh, well, it's 70s. Yeah, I always found it interesting how he pronounces it.
Yeah, and I think he's doing it though, Katie. I think I know what you're saying. I think the way he's doing it is kind of, I would say, well, sort of mocking, but he's not taking it seriously. The Italian Stallion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apollo Creed. It's the Italian Stallion. Sounds like a damn monster movie.
We should start a count for the most amazing one-liners from Apollo Creed.
It'd be too many.
That's one of my favorites.
Be too many.
That's one of my favorites.
No, it is great.
Sounds like a damn monster movie.
There's actually a Twitter account. It's kind of funny. There's a Twitter account called Apollo Creed or something like that. I think the joke of his account or her account, I don't know the gender of the person that made the account. But anyways, the joke of the account is they'll comment. Everything they say is, it sounds like a damn monster movie. So it just...
That's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny, but that's the joke of the account. Every comment, it sounds like a damn monster movie. So anyways. So now we got Rocky talking to Paulie here. They're walking the streets at night, and there's kids in the background playing stickball. And Rocky's like, I used to be deadly at stickball. It's interesting because this is investigated or reinvestigated again, of course, in Rocky 2 when he's playing stickball with those kids outside.
I love that. I love that continuity. As bad as the continuity errors are in these films, there are actually a lot of things like that, like Jozak, or I'll say it, the zoo, even if it's unintentional, or the stickball thing, which goes from movie to movie. Or even the way some of these people talk, like for instance, Creed is always calling people chumps. You'll hear him call Rocky a chump in the ring when they finally fight, but you hear him talk like that in other films too. Like it's pretty good consistency in that way.
I agree, and I think that helps us forgive some of the other errors. One of the other things on that same vein, the way that people are referred to, only Paulie calls Rocky Rocco. Only Apollo calls him Stallion. Only certain people call them those nicknames.
I never thought about that, but that's totally true.
I love how they're consistent with the stickball canon, but they can't get the son's ages right in each film.
Yeah.
To be deadly as stickball. You sure your sister knows I'm coming, right?
We're very excited. Maybe swollen hands.
Yeah.
The joints from walking in, carrying meat in and out of freezer. Plays hell on the joint.
Maybe you ought to see a doctor. What do you think?
I don't need a doctor. I need a different job.
Yeah, different job. What kind of turkey?
So Paulie's mentioned, of course, that his hands are all swollen and the joints are stiff because of working with the frozen meat. Burt Young, playing the role of Paulie, he actually put, I forget what he put on his hands, like gasoline or some sort of liquid, legit, on his hands to give himself stiff joints. You guys hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love his way of saying, I need a different job. So here he is again bugging Rocky to work for Gazzo. And Rocky understands, a different job. What kind of turkey? Big, small? So Rocky, though he's a little bit punchy, he's actually knows what Paulie's doing here. He doesn't want to talk about Gazzo.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm Rocky, I'd be like, 2 things. You know what else makes your joints hurt? Being a boxer and being a mob enforcer.
Oh, yeah.
So A, my joints probably hurt more than yours do. And B, this new job you want is not going to make your joints any better. Like, beating people up cannot be great on your hand joints either, right? It just makes no sense anyway.
Paulie wants to give up a union, probably a good paying union job.
Benefit.
Security to work on a cash basis where Rocky's living hand to mouth in that shitty apartment. Paulie's going to do that with a house, I guess.
A good point.
And has a pretty high chance of landing you in jail when you get an assault charge for breaking someone's thumb.
Right.
It shows kind of Paulie's not really thinking that through very well. I'm like, hey, Paulie, wear gloves. Your hands are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Adapt, man. Adapt. The meatpacking, something I learned too. Joe Frazier, who is when he moved to Philadelphia as a young man, he actually worked hauling meat. Meatpacking industry. So they kind of, I don't know if they intentionally borrowed that. I don't know if that was known to Sly when Sly wrote that, but
it just so happens that packing meat there is a big deal, yeah. Interesting.
Big turkey or small turkey?
Oh, there it is. Gazzo's mentioned.
I'm a good man and nothing bothers me. I'd make a great collector. Busting bones don't bother me.
Don't bother you. Big turkey, right? Huh? Hey, Gazzo's got to give me. Forget Gazzo. That's a bad job. You know what I mean? You got a match?
Go to him for me. As a favor.
Yeah. Now, last time I had a turkey, it was when they were having a $2 special, horn and hard dogs, about 3 years ago. Last year, me and the Turtles had spam. What do you think?
Last year, me and the Turtles had spam. What do you think?
I never caught that before. Where he talked about last year with the Turtles. Did you guys?
Yeah.
Never did.
I'm bad for him because I find spam is disgusting.
I don't mind spam, honestly. If you put spam on a frying pan with some eggs, I don't know.
If you fry spam, it's okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you have to eat it hot or cooked on a pan. So we see a little cut scene here, too, of Rocky's looking at the hoagie shop, and there on the corner is Marie with all the boys again. And so that conversation didn't hold.
There's a couple more girls there, too, or on the right-hand side.
One's a girl, one's a guy with long hair, I think.
The one by Frozen Foods, the dark hair, that's a girl.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the next one over, that's a girl.
It looks by the way she's standing.
Oh, maybe.
I think it's a girl.
And there's 4 guys and little Marie. It's less of a sausage fest than it was back when little Marie was on the corner there. She was the only girl.
So they got a few more whores there. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're recruiting and they're doing well.
Now, I've note here, Rocky's smoking, which I always find interesting that he smokes. The cigarette was twirled at the end. You saw that? It looked like almost like a joint. And Sly said that he wants to make it clear that he wasn't smoking a joint, or the character, or himself. His hands were cold, and so he would keep his hands warm by twirling the paper at the end of the cigarette.
Okay.
Oh, I just assumed they were like homemade cigarettes or something in that case, but yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what the story of Sly quitting smoking is, or the Rocky character quitting smoking, because you don't see the Rocky character smoke in any of the other films, other than Rocky V when he starts again.
He starts again, yeah. Back to the beginning.
And even then, he has like a smoke, and then you don't see him smoke ever again after that. In Rocky Balboa, he doesn't smoke. Later on in Rocky V, he doesn't smoke.
I think he smokes when he's depressed. I think that's what we're led to believe. When he's down in the dregs, he's a smoker. But when he's rich and popular, he doesn't.
And he's a lean, mean fighting machine. He can't be smoking. Also, I'm curious why you think it's interesting that he does smoke, Ryan. Why did you find that interesting?
It's just, I think what Kyle was saying too, we don't see it very often. So when you think of all the films combined, just to go back and watch it again, you just forget that's what his character did at the beginning. So it's just a reminder, oh yeah, he was like that at the beginning, but he isn't like that for the rest of the films, per se. So, like even the Creed films, right?
Sister knows I'm coming for sure, right?
Yeah, she's very excited.
So those kids are tripping at Rocky again when they walk by.
They even like come out of the doorway and like kind of start following them, and they don't give them any mind.
Well, yeah, I think for those guys, you know, you want to impress those girls, and you're kind of banking on those guys ignoring you and walking away.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think you can convince yourself that you're somehow intimidating Rocky Balboa and Paulie. Those two would tune that group of kids up very easily.
Oh no! Hey, will you forget about Gazzo, huh?
Don't ask nobody twice.
Don't ask nobody.
I don't ask nobody twice. That's all he's done is like 100 times.
I know, but not twice, Ryan. More than twice.
More than twice, yeah. For sure. And I love we got a little bit of a snippet there of Sly singing. Like, Sly, stop. You can't sing. Leave it to Frank.
I think it's cute. Also, I really dig his outfit. His sweater game is on point in this movie. I love it so much.
He's dressed up a little bit for Adrian. He wants to look a little bit. He wants to look a little nice for Adrian.
He's not wearing sneakers. Like he's wearing like hard-soled shoes.
Yep. Hey, he's dressed up a little bit.
Well, I don't think he ever wears sneakers.
Hey, your sister, you sure your sister knows I'm coming?
Yeah. She's very excited.
Now, Rocky has every right to think, she has been really shy and cold with me all this time, but now she's excited, knows I'm coming. This is odd. Okay, all right. Because this kind of came out of the blue. But Paulie, of course, is doing this. He knows how much Rocky wants to be with his sister, and he's trying to get a favor out of him. So, I'll give you a date with my sister if you set me up with Gazzo.
I find it surprising, too, that they live in this house. Not that surprising, I guess, but it's a much nicer neighborhood and place than where Rocky lives.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad on the outside. There's no real damage or anything. Well,
it's the same neighborhood. It's just a duplex.
Yeah. Well, I think for Philly, that's pretty common, though.
Yeah.
Everything's row houses and stuff.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean that was bad. I just I sort of assumed that it was like their parents' house.
Yes, I was going to say that I think they inherited that house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good call.
I just trust Paulie to pay a mortgage and to be a productive member of society. I feel like he just drinks all his money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might be paid off, and that's how they can kind of afford to not really work. Or meatpacking factory and pet store wages covers the mortgage because there's no mortgage.
A unionized meatpacking job would pay well.
Okay.
I know a guy who in the 80s, his first job out of high school was at a meatpacking plant. For a kid out of high school at the time, he made $15 an hour in the 80s.
That's pretty good.
Now we're asking, people are like, oh, $15 an hour, fair wage or whatever. But in the 80s, $15 an hour would be $40 now.
Yeah, 30 to 35 for sure.
Yeah. Point.
Now, I love this because, she's very excited you're coming, but you get that hint right away because they walk in the house, the lights are off. It doesn't look very inviting for guests.
Yeah.
Well, why are the lights off? She's clearly cooking dinner.
You're right. The lights should be on kind of anyways, but you could argue, too, that maybe she's just been working the kitchen, that side of the house, and when the night set on, she never turned on the living room lights. But
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Paulie, you're late. Go to the hospital. Go to the hospital. 10 minutes late.
Oh, how you doing?
Oh, poor Rocky. Yo, how you doing? I love it right away. She's feeling self-conscious about how she looks as she steps out of the kitchen. She touches her apron, and she's like, oh, what is going on here? We know that Adrian likes Rocky, too, because why would she care about how she looks right at that moment if it was just another one of Paulie's bum friends or whatever? And here we have a picture of Burt Young in a naval uniform, and I can't remember. I'm 90% sure this was taken from a film still. This is actually him in a film.
Oh, okay.
It's not Burt Young in the Navy per se, that it was still from a film. So let me know in either email or comments or whatever if I'm wrong about that.
Is this supposed to be Paulie when he was younger, or is this supposed to be Paulie's dad?
I think it's Paulie when he was younger.
Yeah. So I just think we're led to believe that Paulie did some service. Back in Korea maybe or something.
Okay, Paulie was born when?
In this film right here, he actually is 35, 36 years old. Both the actor and the character, because both Adrian and Rocky are 30. So I think, but then again,
it would have been 1950. So whatever was happening in 1950.
Korean War?
there maybe wasn't a war. Maybe it wasn't a war. He was just in the Navy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it didn't have to be an actual. You're right, because I'm in the Navy. I'm not at war with anybody. Yeah, he was just in the service, but didn't actually fight in a war. But now I'm confused. So we know
spot where he was too young for Korea, but too old for Vietnam.
Yeah, that nice sweet spot. Yeah. And then Paulie says here, I told you she's very excited, but Adrian gave no indication that she's excited whatsoever.
You know how pissed I'd be if I were either Rocky or Adrian?
It's embarrassing.
Like, for Adrian, it's Thanksgiving. Like, it's a big deal for her. And Rocky asked him like 3 times, are you sure? I don't want to come across as this overbearing jerk. And thanks a lot, Paulie. You screwed us both.
Yeah, you ruined my chances. And I don't know if he's anything like me. I hate making people uncomfortable.
Same.
I hate imposing on people. If I'm invited to someone's house, I wouldn't show up really early when they're still getting ready and stuff like that.
Yes.
And they're like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's like super rude. I'd feel horrible about that. I'll sit in my car for a half hour if I have to.
Yeah.
She's very excited.
Why didn't you tell me you were bringing him here? You look at me, I'm not ready for this.
Would it make a difference if you were?
Well, that's a very telling comment. Would it make a difference if you were? Is he saying that she can't doll herself up any better than she looks now?
I think what he's saying is, even if I told you were to get ready, would you really be ready? Are you ever going to be ready on your own?
I took that both the physical and the mental, but yeah, but I also think he meant it physically. I could be wrong.
I took it the way that Kyle took it, but that doesn't mean that we're right.
You're right about the mental part of, like, are you going to be any more ready? Now, Rocky's about to put his hat on again here? Is he thinking to leave, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You're out. No, I can't. You're in the kitchen and I want you out right now. No. Hey, I want you out of here instamatically.
I want you out of here instamatically.
Oh, so good. I love that. I lost my train of thought. I had a comment, but the instamatically lost me. Oh, why is he saying he's going to take him out? Nobody thinks anyone's going out. Rocky came there for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
So why not just have dinner there? I don't understand why he's like, get out.
I think he wants them to spend time, just the two of them. Thanksgiving's a poor choice for that.
Yeah.
Because Paulie's too, in his mind, I think he's like, these two are never going to get together on their own. They have too many issues. It would have happened by now if it was going to happen. So I'm going to make this happen. So I basically have to trick both of them into being in this situation. And the Thanksgiving was the trick. Now I'm going to kick you out and you guys can both go out, which is absurd. Like, it's the worst. Nothing would be open, of course. Or I might be able to go for like Chinese food or something.
It's true.
But
I'm sick of seeing you hanging around here like a freaking spider.
I love that. I don't know why, but I think that's actually a good analogy.
It is.
You be wise with me now, huh? I'm tired of you being a loser.
I'm tired of you being a loser. It's such a weird relationship. One minute he's saying, go out, live your life, enjoy your life. And, I'm tired of you just being a stay-at-home, single woman, spinster. Don't be a loser. I think he cares for Adrian, but at the same time, he has a real terrible way of trying to enliven her life.
Choice of words is strange.
For sure.
So he's like, leave me alone. Let me just be drunk.
Right.
I don't want you nagging me. He could literally just say, I don't want you to be a spinster. So why does he have to call her a loser?
Of course, Rocky's still here, and he's very uncomfortable, of course. Like, they're fighting in front of him, and he's like, oh, what do I do? Yeah. So, we get a little bit of exposition there. The TV's on. Rocky's watching it, where it says that Apollo's in town. They're looking for an alternative due to the injury of the other opponent. So, there's a little bit of film exposition. Now Rocky's aware of this, too.
Love it. Great way to naturally put it in there. Like, that was very well done.
So, again, Adrian asks, why didn't you tell me you're bringing him home?
How do you know I did?
By the way, rumor has it that this will be the most widely...
How do you know I didn't?
Yeah.
She's not drunk. He is.
That's funny. Now, Paulie is able to open the door on Adrian. Poor Adrian. She's on her head's down. She's a little bit afraid.
Paulie, it's Thanksgiving. I got a turkey in the oven.
Oh, a turkey in the oven. Oh.
want the bird? Go in the alley and eat the bird. Oh.
Oh, it's pretty bad. I mean, my wife, she's an incredible cook, and I know how hard she works on these meals, especially a special meal. And if I just took a turkey that she made, I would be out in the alley. She would kick the crap out of me. It's very, when people make food, obviously, it's, Paulie, that's a real dick move, throwing that bird out in the alley.
Brutal.
Paulie seems to have no empathy whatsoever. He does not understand how other people feel.
So he's a sociopath.
He is really stunted. He's well-meaning in one sense, but he does not get how other people feel whatsoever. He probably can't manage his own emotions, which is probably why he drinks so much. If I were Rocky, I would feel immense guilt right now. I would feel like I'm causing this, that my presence here is causing this conflict, and that this bird got thrown out because of me. Even though really Paulie's the asshole, he set up the whole thing. But that's how I would feel in that moment.
I think you've basically diagnosed Paulie.
Very good job.
Right now. Yeah.
Very good job.
The other thing about the meal thing, Ryan, that you made me think about is I think that for not well-off people, particularly in this type of neighborhood in the 70s, it's not like they had turkey all that. Like, this was like a once-a-year thing. And it probably was... This was kind of an extravagant meal for them. I just thought it was strange, even the financial aspect of him throwing away a turkey, which I actually have no idea how much turkeys cost, but I think it's a big deal, or at least it was in the 70s.
Well, Rocky said the last time he had a turkey was when they were $2 a turkey. So I don't know how expensive they would have been, but still, I mean, he didn't have a turkey. Last year he had Spam, so I guess just...
So that was like a turkey meal. He went to a place that it was like a meal probably
I see. Oh, my apologies. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's really wasteful on his part, and wasted a bunch of money and her time and respecting her. Part of me wants to just rinse that bird off. You know what I mean? Put it back in...
Well, I love how Paulie he keeps a piece. He keeps a piece of it to eat on
a drumstick or something.
Fully cooked, he'll probably get salmonella poisoning, but whatever.
You hungry, Rock?
Get out of here! Get out of the house! Come on, enjoy your freaking life. You hungry, Rock?
He offers him the leg. Are you hungry, Rock?
Yo, Paulie, listen, maybe we just better forget all this. Just forget.
Forget nothing. Good. Tell us something funny.
Ain't nothing to talk about. She's in a bad mood. I'm in a bad mood.
You know how to do funny. You want to go out with my sister?
Yeah.
I love how he's pushing Rocky with how Paulie keeps pushing him with his fingers. Great acting by Burt Young there. He does that poking gesture. Go talk to her. Say something funny.
But he's being kind and encouraging almost.
It's weird.
Rocky.
It is weird that he's able to turn that on and off. Yeah, it seems genuine. Like, go be funny. Go say something funny. You're good with those funny things. Rocky said, I don't know what to say. And Paulie will say again, say something funny. Like, funny. Just be funny.
And Rocky does this little mini shadow box.
Yeah.
Because he's psyching himself out for the conversation with Adrian. This is, of course, a very cute moment we'll play through where Rocky talks through the door to Adrian. And I know our viewers at home can't see this, of course, but they'll know the scene. But watch Sly's acting. It's really great. Watch his, I don't know, kind of look on his face. I don't know. I feel stupid kind of looks. Like he'll do that when he looks at Paulie.
Yo, Adrian, it's me, Rocky.
Rocky, you know.
Listen, I don't know what to say because I ain't never talked to no door before, I mean, what do I say to a door? Hey, listen.
You're doing fine.
I ain't doing fine. Look like an idiot.
Keep doing what you're doing. Funny. I know all about this.
Paulie knows everything about everything.
I know about this sort of stuff. He's the perfect matchmaker. It's Rocky again.
I know you ain't too happy at this moment, Oh, could you do me a favor, I ain't got nobody to spend Thanksgiving with, So, how about maybe you and I, maybe we'll go out together, get something to eat. I don't know, maybe laugh a little bit, who knows, Would you like to, would you like to maybe, you and me go out together? What do you think? Would you like to? We're gonna have a good time. Have a real good time,
What I love is she was getting dressed and ready during that whole conversation.
I think she looks gorgeous right now.
He really does.
But look at her face, too. It's very determined.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to do this. And maybe in a weird way she's listened to Paulie. Not because how he said it was the right or best way, but maybe it's like, you know what? I think I will go live my life outside of this house, maybe I will go take a chance on this guy who's been courting me or trying to court me. I don't want to be around my brother right now. I'm really pissed off at him. So in a weird way, his method, Paulie's methods of getting her kind of angry and determined to get out of the house, it might have worked. Like, I'm going to go out with Rocky, fine. What's she going to do with Paulie tonight, right?
Paulie makes the environment so intolerable.
It's like an abusive romantic relationship in that way too. Like, if you want to make sure the person doesn't come back, you have to be mean to them so that they hate you. Also, I thought it was strange that Paulie, he could have at least pretended to like go in the kitchen and drink his beer and eat his chicken leg instead of being an audience member and making Rocky so uncomfortable. Like, watching him.
Right.
Thanks for the bird.
Didn't get any of it.
Yeah, that is weird.
Thanks for the bird. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe thanks for the offer. I don't know. It is kind of a weird line. Paulie's got a headache, so he's going to turn off the TV. And we're going to end it soon here. So Adrian now just looks at herself in the mirror. Again, I think to steel herself, as they say, to get herself ready for this one-on-one date with Rocky.
I just love how well put together she is. Like, she has her hat on and that nice coat. You know she didn't hang out on the Atomic Hoagie shop.
No, that was... Gloria was the other 12-year-old. Oh, man. A great sequence of events. Boy, the movie, as we know, is starting to really pick up here regarding... Not it's ever been slow, but now we're starting to see these relationships come to fruition. Now the first date with Rocky and Adrian will be the next episode, but that's a very exciting moment, of course. And yeah, this is a great episode, guys. A lot of news. I got to talk to Sly on the phone. I think I probably burnt that bridge now with Sly. I'm sorry about that, Sly. If you can forgive me, I hope you'll reach out and talk to me. Answers to the Rocky trivia. Are we ready?
So before you do that, I just want to let our audience know that the bum count is now at 11.
Wow.
I'm well on my way.
214 to go, Katie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What was my guess?
Your guess was 36.
Oof, that's high too. Boy.
Mine's 56, so I'm not looking too good either. E.M. King, who
is Rocco's dad.
Rocco's dad is at 23. He's looking pretty good right now.
He's looking pretty good,
he is. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. The answers to the trivia. You ready? Okay. So the question was, true or false? Bill Conti composed all other Rocky films. And the answer, of course, is false. Vince DiCola composed Rocky IV. If you haven't already, check out my interviews with Vince DiCola and Bill Conti on Going the Distance podcast. I interviewed both composers. We all got that right, I'm sure. Okay. Now, number 7. The answer here is, the question was, what color were Rocky's boxing trunks on the banner? Now, the answer is red and white.
On the banner.
On the banner.
Red trunks with the white stripe.
That's right. Yeah. Now, but he just wrote the answer red and white, which is, I guess, if you just got red and white, that's allowed. But you're right, it's red with the white, and the color was wrong to what Rocky wore in the ring. And we'll talk about that scene when we get to it, why that's an interesting scene. Number 8, what is the name of the little girl that Rocky walks home? Of course, Little Marie. Number 9, yeah, I got this one wrong. What is Rocky's address? Kyle, what did you get?
I got 1818.
That's what I put.
Good job, guys. I said 1612.
Right? Is it 1818?
Both of you got it right.
Sweet. Okay.
Good job, guys. Good job. I totally forgot the numbers. I just had no idea. So I said 1612 or something like that. Number 10. What is the name of the fighter that Rocky was fighting at the beginning of the movie? Of course, Spider Rico. Kyle, I got 4 out of 5. I want to tally that up.
Yeah. Katie, you got all 5, yeah?
Did.
Nice.
Trying to make up for last time.
So right now I have 10. Brian, you have 9, and Katie, you have 8.
There you go.
Okay.
Louise in our Discord chat said he got 1613, so he got 4 out of 5. It's funny, I said 1612. Isn't that weird? We both said that's weird.
Funny.
I wonder
if that's what the Rocky 2 house.
I wonder there's some. These almost add up to 9. I think they do add up to 9 if I remember correctly. Is that
they do. They do yeah.
So funny. Anyways, okay. Thank you so much, Rocco. Make sure everyone, if you want to buy his book, the Rocky Trivia book, on your local Amazon, even if it's. But don't cheat if you buy it, but play along with us on the episodes. All right, there we go. That's the end of the episode.
I didn't hear no bell.
I just want to say one